lie if you show me your okay.
Before we started recording, you made a glorious confession. Do you want to tell the audience what it was?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting the kitty.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment.
It's a big commitment, but I also feel very ready. Currently I have a snake.
Yeah.
Duck, which we love. And
Great snake.
Love duck, great snake.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a snake.
Wait a minute. I can't let that pass. Because when I came over, I was like, so do you feel like you need a more responsive pet? You're like, no, this snake is you made a big case.
That?
Yeah.
Did
you
I
made
really?
a big case. You're like, you can get affection from a snake. And I was like, it just feels like it's kind of just a living rope. I didn't say that line.
Okay, wow.
But
okay, wow. Okay, wow. Wow.
I flummoxed you.
I'm wrong in that I do dearly love him, and we've only gotten closer.
He's not going to hear this.
He's not going to hear this. He literally cannot hear. Snakes cannot hear, and they don't have. Yes.
So you don't play the podcast, and he looks at it.
There's no zoom. I could sing to it, and it could look at me like I was a rock.
You're
Nothing.
calling it in. You're calling duck in. Look what you did. You made way for your kitty.
Look what
my
I did.
God.
I still love him, and he's doing this thing now where I put him right here on my shoulder, and he wraps around my armpit, and he will stay there for 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah, like you're a colonel. You're a colonel with one of those weird rope things.
Yes. I'm just a holder, kind of like a...
He's like a holster, like a gun holster.
Yeah, and he'll just sit right here on my, and just kind of lightly lick my skin and kind of just like...
That is fucking creepy. That is so creepy.
I know.
I mean, I know that snake, so I wouldn't feel that creeped out, but
but
describing it objectively... my snake likes to hug right near the main veins in my shoulder, and then licks right at my jugular.
And squeeze.
Yeah.
Squeeze and lick.
You think he's testing to see if you're ripe yet?
Yeah,
he's just
like, could I take this? Could I take this?
I could take her. I could have it.
Could I take it? Could I take it? And that's our relationship, and I love it.
Yeah.
But
It's a beautiful snake.
There's room for a cat. There's room for something. I have never had an animal that truly loved me back. I had a cat growing up, and I loved her, but she
was indifferent to you.
She did not, we were competitive with each other, and she loved my brother. Every night she would scratch my door to the point where I just leave my door open. She would come into my room. She would come on my bed for 11 minutes. She would either sit on my head or right between my legs, making it impossible for me to turn over at all, or it would sleep on my chest or my stomach, basically telling me that I'm a doormat and it's bitch.
Wow.
I would, pet it, and then it would leave, spend the rest of the night with my brother in a loving embrace. And
I love the drama with which you're rendering this cat's intentions.
Yes, and so I love my brother, so of course I loved Lydia because,
Lydia's the name of the cat?
What?
Lydia's the name of the cat?
Lydia was the name of the
Incredible
cat.
name.
Thank you.
Wonderful name for a cat.
And I named it, but did Lydia appreciate that?
No. Changed her name. Went to probate.
Changed her name. And she was a wonderful cat in many different cat ways. Would find mice and leave them for my mom outside her door.
Was it always your mom?
Yes.
So how did your cat know that your mom was the pants of the family?
I don't know, but she is, and my cat knew. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Cats are weird smart.
Weird smart.
They're dumb. And I'm not, I know that most people on the internet are already, they already have their talons out. Yeah, they're already mad. Yeah, the claws are already, they're ready. But I don't subscribe to most of the anthropomorphization of cats.
Yes,
I don't.
Yes,
I think of them as weird computer glitches for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just
Dave's cat.
Dave's cat's
talk
insane.
About a computer glitch.
Well, I think that's why he loves it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
But they do know things, and they're like, what?
Yes.
Like, how does it know that?
My mom was like the mom lion
Yeah, the
of
matriarch.
the matriarch.
Yeah.
It knew my brother was like, they just had a special relationship to which meant that our relationship had to be what it was because, just like our family.
No room.
Yes. Just like, and she would fuck with my stuff. That was like, she would fuck with my stuff.
Wow. It's like cat high school in there.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I never had an animal that looked to me as its like mother or matriarch or, like source of anything really.
So you've never been able to dominate a pet's affection yet.
Yeah.
And that's the goal now.
And I'm so ready.
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
Why did you choose cat, not dog?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So we live in a duplex.
Yes.
And
it's beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
It is. Very lovely home.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love our apartment.
Me too. I really like it.
Thank you. I love your apartment.
Thank you. It's nice here. Other
nice
than,
here.
as I said, the 12-foot high gilt walls.
The top kill walls.
Wonderful
You and I
otherwise.
both having religious backgrounds. This
Yes,
is very.
isn't it great?
This is very.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, it's great.
If only we could have just the
Great.
sound of a choir every time we went and left, Actually, I do love the sound of choirs.
Me
I
too,
should
actually.
get someone to like just play it one morning
You
and just see what it
should.
does.
What's very like there's
Yeah.
something about the resonance
acoustics
of it,
and the reverb.
the reverb.
Yeah.
Something about it.
Yeah. Sorry. So
Anywho's.
why cat?
So downstairs they have a dog
They do.
that very much dislikes other dogs.
And every other people.
And every other people.
Seen that.
It's and that's what they bought it to do. The people below us work on cars, and a lot of their things are outside. So it is
I see. Guard dog.
It is a guard dog.
Yeah.
So it's a very sweet dog, and I have nothing against it, but bringing another dog to that situation, it's like every time we take it out to go to the bathroom, that dog would be, it's just like
Yeah. Not great.
it's not great.
And you thought cat would go better?
Yeah, because
Okay.
cats, especially in the LA area, in our area, they by law need to be indoors. Having like an outdoor cat is
You can't have an outdoor cat?
no.
I did not know that.
Yeah, which I would love, and if I lived in a different area, I
Sure.
love outdoor cats because they're a lot smarter. They're there's a difference
They're
between
having to navigate life.
Yeah. They have a real life out there,
Yeah.
and then they come back to you
Right.
with like knowledge.
You're
you
like
know?
the office for
Yeah.
them. You know what I mean? They go back
Yeah.
home and or to the bar,
Yeah,
like
and they
cat
just tell you the
cheers.
shit that they've seen, which is like amazing. I would
yeah,
love,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's the kind of cats that Will grew up with. The,
Sure.
indoor outdoor cats. So I would love and be open to it, but since that's not on the table, then it's like, and I love cats. I love kittens. To me, cats and dogs have their pros and cons.
Sure.
I think cats are dumber in some ways, but smarter in other ways.
Oh, definitely.
I love
Yeah.
playing with cats. I love that they're independent.
I like the way they use their paws.
Yeah.
I'm pro cat
Pro
paws.
paws. They're
Yeah, I'm
so
pro paw
cute.
because like dogs don't really.
Yeah, they
like
really
dogs kind of use them like T-Rexes use their weird arms.
And they click when they go across
which
the...
I love that though. I think
love
that's
the-
funny.
the dog
But
click.
cats are a little like cats use their use their paws the way snakes use their tongues. They just feel stuff
Yes.
out with those paws. They're just like, what do you got here? What
What's
is this thing?
What's this?
They're
What's
gonna
this?
bat it around
What's
and figure
this?
out if they like it or not.
Yeah.
Do I like that? Do I like that thing?
Do I like it? Do I like it? Yeah. Oh, and the other reason is we have an indoor screen porch that is just would be a cat.
Sure.
A catio, they call them.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
This-
yeah.
wow.
This
Yeah.
is,
Be cat Xanadu in
a
there.
cat Xanadu.
Yeah.
It's the perfect space for their litter box. They're
Sure.
surrounded by trees. We're going to put in a little, like a bird feeder to welcome little
I always worry
little
about the urine.
creatures.
I worry so much about cat urine.
Interesting.
Because it's like, I mean, no urine smells good.
No urine smells good.
Yeah, it's all bad.
It's all bad.
But cat urine
has a
is
smell.
made of like cyanide or something.
Yeah,
it's awful.
yeah, it's awful.
deadly and awful. I know cyanide is scentless. Don't at me on this shit. I don't want to hear this from you. Excuse me, Mr. Cat Hater. Here comes some information for you. Cyanide, and then here comes like the pronunciation of it.
Cyanide, yeah.
Cyanide. I know. God damn it.
I know.
It's the equivalent of cyanide in terms of how toxic I feel about it.
Yeah, it's quite the.
It's rough.
It's
right?
rough. Yeah.
It's rough. And it's usually like they do it for maniac reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Although, having taken care of a cat growing up, that was the other thing. I fucking cleaned my cat's litter box. That was my job. And she still didn't fucking care.
She didn't give a shit.
She didn't give a shit that I was the one scooping her poop, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever.
No gratitude. Cats have no gratitude.
No gratitude.
Dogs do have gratitude.
Dogs have
I feel like they're
gratitude.
thankful.
They are.
I really do.
That's on the pros and cons
That's
list.
pretty good. It's a big move for you and Will.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing here. Now, conversely,
tell
I
me what you brought up to me,
I did.
Adam.
Well, first, I think it's fair to acknowledge I did get a plant.
More than one.
I got 2 plants.
You got 2 plants.
One of them's growing, and it feels like a miracle.
It's beautiful. We're looking at it right now.
Yeah.
It's like a golden stalk has arisen from the dirt that you are curating.
That's true.
Yeah.
If you want to know how wonderful my brother and sister can be, by the way, I woke up and saw a new sprout in this plant, and I was like, oh shit. Yeah, bro. So I filmed it, and then I whistled the Jurassic Park theme when I sent it to my brother and sister, and my sister types back, "Lol, you're a really beautiful whistler."
Precious.
She's great.
I love siblings. You and I both have good relationships with our
would
siblings.
like my siblings. You'd
I'm
like
sure
them.
I would.
They're all Gansers, so they got that tang on it. Yeah.
I mean, my brother is a fish.
Yeah. I can't wait. That'd be something delightful. Couldn't even imagine it. But the thing that Maggie's alluding to is for about a month and a half now.
I didn't realize it was so long.
That's because I'm living in a fucking cave. We're all living in weird caves. I've been contemplating a dog. Been thinking about it. Now,
right.
The financially responsible Adam says the following things I know are going to have to happen. I have to purchase the new video game systems this year. I know.
But
I do have to do it. I do have to do it.
There's some good. They're good shakeup. And also, look at the situation we're in. You
Right.
have to have those game systems.
For my job,
Yes.
I legit have to do it.
Yes.
So that's a lot of money. So there's that, and I'm looking at this black chair that I bought. If you look over it.
Oh yeah.
I hate that chair.
Do you really?
I do. I'll tell you why. I can't show you. I would if we weren't on a podcast.
Great.
It's got bad arms. The arms are bad for how my body works.
Will has similar problems with our bucket seats because the arms curve.
Yeah.
And the shoulders and the arms are in just a completely different area than my body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's dumb, but you do have to plan a chair for how your body is.
You do.
So I've been doing a lot of Googling. I guarantee you when I do any Zooms, people are going to see in my ads what I've been looking at. Been shopping recliners like I'm 85. Let's see if I get a lazy boy. I can put some memory foam in those cushions. That'd be real good.
Fucking can.
And I'm talking about I'm planning 10 years of my life here in this chair. You know what I mean? So and it's I'm trying to get it to match the furniture I think I'll keep.
Right.
So those are 2 expenses that are probably coming soon, right? So a dog becomes challenging.
True.
Also, I'm a nice person, but selfish.
Would you say that?
Definitely.
Really?
With my time? Oh, yeah. I don't want to do anything. I love doing only my stuff. That's my favorite thing.
But that to me, that doesn't feel like a selfish thing.
It's selfish. I don't mean it in the I don't mean in the church choir way.
I just heard that so much. I'm over here being like, I absolve you of your sins of caring for yourself. Me stepping into that. Just put a partition between us, and I'm ready to tell you've done nothing wrong.
Oh my God, Maggie the pastor, Maggie the priest, holy!
I think in another life I would have been fucking balls to the wall. I'm gonna fucking kick ass.
Let me tell you what would have happened. I'm gonna give you if we're gonna do alternate multiverse Maggies, you would be immediately in a sex scandal with priest. You would immediately be in one.
So true.
Not
in any other decade, I would have been in a sex scandal just for living my life. Yeah. So
you've had a good path.
Thank you.
You're living the good one. This is the good one for you. In any case,
back to you being selfish.
You're not having it. Maggie's not having it. By the way, we do need a sound effect of the choir. I think we need the choir sound effect.
We've earned it.
We really have. So anyway, I am selfish with my time in as much as I use most of my time on me. Like very little of my time
That
goes to
sounds
other
like
people.
heaven, but yeah. Okay, great. Yes.
Oh yeah,
But true. Yes.
it's heaven.
Yes.
Yeah,
As it should be.
It's great.
I'm like, yes.
The downsides are like in about 15 years, I'm gonna be like, it's too late for kids probably, and like death is not looking good. The way death goes looks bad. You know what I mean? But like, isn't that it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like anyway.
Well,
So dog.
you can have mine.
I can have your
I'm gonna
death.
hate him.
You're gonna give me your
I
death.
mean, my children, but like, sure, you want
You're
that.
not giving me your kids. You're gonna love the shit out of those
I'm
kids.
gonna love the shit
I
out
know
of them.
you
But
are.
You can hang out with
That little
them.
school of fish
you
you're
can take
raising.
them anytime you want.
I have offered once or twice to babysit for my friends, and they always give me the look like, "That's nice."
They don't take you up on it?
Fuck no. They
that
definitely
sounds
don't.
I would
They don't
in a heartbeat.
realize you don't realize I'm a 300-pound, 6'3" goblin.
I mean, I guess I don't.
like that I'm a
but-
monstrously large, terrifying person to most people.
But I think kids need to be introduced to large
It takes a
people.
while for kids, man. It takes a while.
True. Well,
Kids they go to the next, they go to any leg that'll let them hug it as soon as they see me for a little while.
But isn't
Takes a little while.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm nice to them. I'm not like bullying them or anything.
No,
They
I
just,
wouldn't think you
it's
would.
the same thing as turning a corner with a young woman. You know what I mean?
yes,
Like, it's the same problem.
We've discussed.
Yeah, same problem.
Yes.
Anyway, so I've been thinking about a dog.
Okay. Yeah, back to the dog. Yeah.
Maggie, I'm going to list for you the things I've decided I'm allowed to do in terms of dogs. Because I can't have just any dog. You got to have a dog that matches.
This is so true.
You got to have a
and
dog
I'm
that
glad
matches.
you take this
Yeah,
seriously.
because what kind of cat are you getting? What kind of cat?
So the kind of cat I personally need it to be at least partially a lap cat. In that, again, like I'm looking for something that can give me a little extra loving.
Extra loving.
Extra
so you want
love or attention.
You want like a fat cat? Is that what you mean? What do you mean?
Maybe not a fat cat, but one that sees me as,
So you mean I want the kind of cat that likes me?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
risky because you don't know what you're getting there.
That's true.
With cats, you don't know. You're rolling the dice.
Well, that's why Will is very big on personality, which I also agree. It's less about the look, more about the personality. But I love calicos. I love black cats.
Calicos are cute.
Calicos are cute.
Black cats, I think, are cool, but I also think they're like a little bland.
Sometimes.
Just a little
sometimes.
bland. Not Dave's cat that is a hellspawn.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for him.
Oh, yeah.
But some black cats are like, eh.
Some black cats are eh.
I want you to get one of those emperor cats. That's what I want.
The
ones that look
skinless?
like no, those are dumb. Like,
Do you really? I
don't
would
like-
get a skinless cat.
You mean a hairless
hairless,
cat?
yeah.
Like I think they look stupid. I think they're ridiculous
kind of
looking
do.
animals.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no,
They
get
look
your
pretty
fucking
stupid.
clothes on, cat.
Get
like,
your clothes on.
Right?
You're fucking naked and it's disgusting.
And we did not consent
We did not
to that.
I see your full
We did-
butthole. Your unmitigated butthole.
Maggie is holding my eye contact when she says it. Oh shit. Anyway, you need to get an emperor cat. Okay, so
Emperor cat.
like
So-
I want a cat that's like regal. Like those are my favorite kind of cats.
Will go for a regal cat. Yeah.
I want them to be magnificent. I love it when
Yes.
cats are magnificent.
Yeah.
Especially when they're just house cats. It's so good.
Yeah.
Because they come in, they're like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Would you like to feed me?
To my house.
Yes. What are you all doing here?
What are y'all doing?
The cat inquires.
Captain Guayans.
Anyway, the following dogs I'm allowed to have, I believe.
Yes, wonderful.
I'm allowed to have a French bulldog.
I love it. You say I'm
Just
allowed.
right away.
Yeah.
French bulldog.
You're allowed to have
Ideally named Sir Paul McCartney.
Just beauty, grace, and wonder all put together.
I think pugs are kind of the best universal dogs for just they fit anywhere. If I had one, I'd name it Archie or Grins. Grins is pretty good.
Grins is great.
I think I could have a Chow Chow. I think I could get away
You
with a
could
Chow Chow.
absolutely have a chow chow.
I think so too.
Hundo.
Final, and I really debated this one, but I included it. I can have one of those Spinone Italianos, you know? You know those ones?
Yeah.
But only if it's named Harvey Keitel. Harvey Keitel, can you imagine? I'm running through the park with one of those giant hairy monsters.
Beautiful.
And I'm just like, Harvey Keitel, get back here.
Harvey Keitel.
Yeah.
You would, yeah.
6 out of 100 women are going to think that's amazing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But
they're
those
the right
those are the 6 that you would want to take home and introduce to your plans.
Yes, that's and introduce to Psycho.
Yeah.
You see what I'm doing? I'm building the whole routine.
Yes. Building a plan.
Yeah.
This is what.
I'm an evil genius.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. This is great. This is all wonderful.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
So, well, we've done 20 minutes on pets. It is related, though, as you'll see.
It is related.
Because we are going to do an episode nobody asked for.
No one asked for it.
This. But it's a bonus ep for those of you who are our favorite people, our producers.
Our producers.
As of now, there's only 14 of them. When I say only, that's enough.
That's
more than enough.
Wonderful. That's good.
But
that's
I only mean to say that I don't know who they are. Because I haven't had a name list released to me yet, because we just launched the tier as of the time of this recording.
You mysterious producers, who are
That's right.
you?
That's right. Right now, they're just a collection of nameless friends.
Nameless
We don't know who they are.
Best friends.
But we do love them.
Fucking love you guys.
Fucking
you weirdos.
love you guys.
You weirdos.
So this is just for them.
Okay.
Now,
hey guys.
I'm trying to. I don't know for sure if Abe is always going to keep this content behind the paywall or if he releases it for everyone. But at least the first lick.
The first
lick at the bottle.
The first lick at the bottle.
The first slurp on the teat, if you will.
Of the cyanide. If you please.
It belongs to you, you mystery 14. We love you.
You sweet, sweet fort. We were talking about Lost earlier, so all I could think of is
your
like
brain. Your brain did a thing. I saw it. It left one part of your brain.
Because isn't there a manifest of like the missing however many lost?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
It's not 14, I don't think.
Wow. Doesn't matter.
Number.
Good connection.
Right. Thank you. We didn't even talk about it on the podcast, so people would be like,
why are they talking about Lost? They're not going to realize there's a whole other thing. We're not even telling them right now, which there is. There's other people in this podcast.
There's other people. They're the ghosts of friends.
Anyway, to our 14, we love you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I can't read your names. I don't know them yet, but I will.
But we will.
And when I do, I'll say them, and I'll probably add jokes.
Aww.
So will Maggie.
Aww.
We're going to make fun of their names. We agree on that, right? Yeah.
Like I said, I call them twerps, and they'll keep coming back.
We're such monsters.
I know. Terrible.
No, but making fun of the names is part of the rules.
You signed up with your name. So.
This is, we're like bridge trolls. We're entertainment bridge trolls. You got to get past us.
Yeah. You got to get past us.
But I have the right name. We're sending you into the fire. Okay, so today's episode, again, you didn't ask for it, but you're getting it anyway.
Yeah.
Maggie, what's the topic? You picked this one.
I'm remembering that I did. I didn't
you
think
picked
I did.
it. Yeah.
As we were talking about it, I was like, that was such a great topic that Adam picked.
Nope.
But I didn't.
You picked it. That's why it's so great.
Yeah. It is your favorite Underdog movie.
I think this topic sprang from your brain.
I think so. Yeah.
I believe so. Because Maggie and I, since you guys are showrunners now, we're going to give you some of the inside juice.
Yeah.
We started this podcast. We made basically like a list of 100 topics.
100 topics, and also
something
just
like
to kind of test and be like, what would
be a topic?
Right.
What would be a topic?
Yeah.
And this was near the bottom of that list, not in terms of ranking, just when it came in, and it was one that you suggested, and I was like, that's a fucking good one. But we got to hang on to it till like people know.
Yeah, because we got some juicy ones for down the line.
Yes, there's one in particular that your eyes light up every time we think about it.
Okay, well,
Don't say. I know what it is.
All right.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay. I think you know, and I know, and we all know, and we
I
can't
definitely
wait.
know what it is. Yeah, I definitely know. Anyway, so this is show me your favorite Underdog movie, and we both showed each other the movies.
We did.
And boy, we might have different ideas about what an underdog is.
Okay, I didn't want to say too much because, again, producers behind the scene, Adam and I try not to discuss our picks.
No. I only text stuff that I know isn't discussion.
Yes.
It's more just enthusiasm.
Right, enthusiasm or like big, broad, you can't read too much into its statements because we like to save the good stuff for this. But as you were describing the movie that you picked and the movies that you almost picked.
Yeah.
The thing that I kept saying was like, Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because I have a take for this. I thought about both of our picks, and I have a take on it. But I'm going to save it to the end.
I bet I agree because it was
I have a take on it.
Okay.
Anyway,
wonderful.
so I don't remember who went first. Did you go first last time?
I don't remember.
I never remember. I'm going to go first this time.
Okay, great.
Okay, seems okay.
Let's go first.
It's your topic.
Okay.
You're going to see what you have wrought, my friend.
Oh.
Okay, so my pick.
Should we?
My pick was Whiplash. Specifically Andrew Naiman from Whiplash.
Interesting.
Who's the main character?
Yes.
Andrew Naiman from Whiplash.
Miles Teller.
Now, I don't care about Miles Teller.
Many people don't.
I don't care about
Will does not. Will dislikes
Yeah.
Miles Teller.
He's not likable. I agree.
Yeah,
he's not.
Yeah, I could go either way. I get it. I get why people like him, and I get why people cast him.
I know why he's not likable. I totally understand. And I think this movie is actually perfect casting for him.
I agree.
Because he's not supposed to be good.
Yeah.
He's not a good kid.
Yeah.
He's a nascent maniac. He is, but he's vastly overshadowed. So the movie's Whiplash. The narrative of it is that there's a young drummer at a school that's not exactly Juilliard, but it's Juilliard. Let's be honest.
Right. Juilliard. Yeah.
Right. They call it Nassau, I want to say, but it's Juilliard.
Yeah.
It's Juilliard. So a young drummer, right, in Juilliard, tries to impress the great drum instructor, the jazz musician and teacher, Fletcher, who begins an abusive relationship with him. And he continues to abuse and play mind games on the kid. And it's never clear, is he doing it to help the kid, or is he just an abusive, destructive maniac?
Yeah.
And Andrew Naiman loses just about everything that he cares about
everything
in the process of pursuit of greatness, drum greatness. And I actually kind of don't want to spoil the ending of this movie for people.
We don't need to.
I don't think we need to either.
No, I don't think
maybe a little bit, but we might a little bit. So it's possibly been spoiled. If you haven't seen this movie and you have any interest in it, I think both of us can say this probably. It's one of my favorite movies in the last 10 years, easily.
It's phenomenal. J.K. Simmons in that movie is... Like, when you talk about, like, acting and performances and roles, that is just a once-in-a-lifetime, like, lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
Perfection in the most, like, disturbing but, like, wonderful way. I just could watch his performance unending.
It's the most exciting villainous performance I've seen since... I'm going to say Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, that is actually a great comparison.
Because like some people might say, what about Joker from Dark Knight? And like that counts.
Sure.
And it's great. It's a really great performance.
Yeah.
But I don't think of it in the same category.
No.
Because that's more like cartoon superhero,
this is
supervillain.
Like J.K. Simmons plays people who are currently the heads of administrations right now. Those are people,
It's hard to imagine. It's hard. It exists, I'm sure.
Yes.
It's hard to imagine that something that abusive would be allowed to go on outside of a sports team.
Yes. One of my only things about this movie that doesn't really hit home for me is that a lot of the actual music stuff is like completely made up and like
that's funny to know because the director, who's won a Best Director Oscar now, by the way, and he's very good, Damien Chazelle, great director,
very good.
He went to Juilliard for music, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you mean? I'm just curious.
A lot of the details. One of my favorite scenes is when they're in that locked, sweaty room, and J.K. Simmons, after 2 beats, is like, stop, and has them go up, do it again.
Not quite my time. Not quite my tempo.
Not quite my tempo. Not my tempo.
Not quite my tempo.
But the thing is, God. you can't actually know what the tempo is until after 4 beats.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
So,
right,
which is like part of it, but also like that, again, that type of stuff doesn't actually fly in any creative space. And especially with jazz, like those types of people aren't really in that space.
So there's not like jazz maniacs.
There's not really like jazz maniacs, and especially with jazz, because it's actually about breaking out of conformity.
Yes, of course.
Which, again, makes the movie very interesting.
Sure,
I think
sure.
that's part of it, and I don't mind the bending of it. But for me, it's kind of like a almost like an army movie, or
little bit, yeah. Little bit.
It's like it has a lot more in common with that than a lot of the like realities of music. Whatever.
Did you ever have coaches?
Yes.
And did
is-
it feel like coaches did to you? Because it reminded me a lot of sports coaches that I know.
The only other, and this is about to get, one of the people that meant the most to me in my life and helped me be the person that I am today is my band coach, is my band teacher, who is also my basketball coach. And he is just one of the best, greatest people that I've ever met, but in a way that is just... So basically, this is the story of how my basketball coach came to be the basketball coach, is because he had been the basketball assistant at the high school that I went to like years ago. And there was a girl on the team, and she was black, and she was not being played, which tale as old as time.
Yeah.
But my basketball coach basically got the head coach fired, kicked out of the school,
for that. Okay.
Took over the basketball program and turned it. We became one of the best basketball teams in our area. We would go to.
That's great.
We would, and like that was some of the most like diverse experiences of my life, all because he just set out to do this. He was such a champion for women at the time. Like, he was so like respectful of women and would just always speak out whenever anyone in the school was like being misogynistic. But the thing is, he was also basically as intense as J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
He would yell like that, but he would only do that if someone... He was always in the right. He was always yelling at people who were... bringing like just toxicity, or I remember in middle school, one of the times that he like laid into us was because we were leaving a girl out. Like, we were just ostracizing a girl.
And he was like, what is this shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was
I love that
yes.
about coaches. Yeah.
And also, how dare you?
Yeah.
She is a
love it.
part of the, and it was just like all these, like, he was always there to stand up for people that just, you never had anyone do that for them.
There is something magical about coaches, especially for high school students, because they're allowed to sort of take off the mask of civility.
Yes.
And be like, what are you doing?
Yes.
You idiots.
Yes.
And like, high schoolers kind of need to hear that sometimes.
They need it.
You have to do it the right way, but I'll never forget, because I was in football.
Okay.
So, all kinds of
I don't
hijinks.
think we've ever talked about.
I played football, yes.
Yeah.
Still love it.
Aww.
Was never good at it, but I played.
I love basketball. I wasn't the best.
Yeah.
I was really great at defense.
Yeah. I was really good at cheering for the people who got to play.
I loved cheering from the bench.
Yeah.
Some of my best moments,
So there were reasons. I also didn't. This may really delight you to hear. I was very short until senior year of high school.
Whoa!
I was like between 5'2" and 5'4" until I was a senior.
Oh my god!
And then I grew a foot in a summer.
Whoa!
Let me tell you what happened.
Huh?
My wrath was kindled. All those years of abuse.
Yeah.
It was like they were undone in an instant when I came back to school. It was amazing. It was so
incredible.
good. It was so, like, people who I hadn't seen like 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like, there's like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Because because they pick on short kids and stuff.
Of course.
So there was a few of like, all right, man, I'm sorry. Like, I had a few of those.
Yeah, like
it was great. Super good. Super good.
That's wonderful.
Anyway, so football.
Football.
I had a coach named Coach P. Loved him. Wonderful man. Very good man. He wasn't the head coach at the time. The head coach ended up getting fired for drugs. Like real drugs.
Whoa.
Not like little drugs.
Not some drugs.
Real, not like
real shit.
But like threw drugs out the window while he's being chased by the cops on the freeway. Drugs. Yeah.
Whoa.
That happened. So people can look it up if they really want to.
Wow.
So Coach P was the line coach. And he was he was really good about knowing when to have sort of a fatherly touch and when to be a coach. You know, he was really good at it. Like one day, I was not good, as I said.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really played a lot of football before my senior year anyway. So like, I was getting my ass kicked for about, I don't know, a couple months. And then one day I kind of showed up to practice. I'm like, I'm going to hurt some people. Oh, you know, because like I'm tired of it, you know, and like I did. It didn't hurt him, but like, and it changed things. And this is the kind of thing Coach P would do. He was back there and he saw what I was doing. He was like, Ganser, I love what you're doing. What the hell did you have for lunch? It was great. It was like, I love the intensity today. I love it. Right? He comes in like hot like that.
Yes.
And I'll never forget it because I think coming in hot really helps. I really think it helps.
Can I give you a mirror story
of course you can.
Exact same
I do want to talk about the movie, but of course you can.
Sorry,
Yeah.
these are our
bonus
producers.
episodes.
Yeah, these are bonus episodes.
What are the producers? Why are we cutting stuff?
We're cutting stuff. You guys can have it all.
You get all the shit.
You get all the shit. You deserve it, you nameless 14.
You 14 beautiful fucks.
You both.
They love it. Come on, they like that.
They fucking love it.
All right, here we go.
But very similarly, I was in middle school going into high school, so I was going to be a freshman coming into the junior team, junior varsity, and I had always been okay at basketball. I was very tall when I was younger, so
that's incredible. Just on its own fact.
I know. Yeah. Just on its own. I had the opposite of you. I was one of the first to grow, and then I never grew again.
Everyone caught up.
Yes, everyone caught up. But my older cousin was phenomenal at basketball. She was a 3-point shooter, and we looked a lot of like, so there was a lot of expectation put on young Maggie.
Steph Curry of the upper Lakeville towns.
Upper Lakeville towns. She was great. I looked up to her and I wanted to be a lot like her. But basketball wasn't something that came super naturally to me. I was much better at soccer. I actually became all-state in soccer.
All-state?
Mm-hmm. I was an all-state defender. Yes. I was a left defender, and I'm a fucking beast at soccer, actually. So take that to the bank.
I'm going to deposit it in a safe deposit box for later retrieval.
Thank you. One of my best moves was that I could take the ball from almost any forward and kick it halfway down the field to our forwards that were waiting down the
Sergio
goal.
Ramos. I know you don't know who that is. He's a famous defender. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know that. You. Yeah.
But basketball was something that I loved because it was very much in my family, and my dad played basketball, and but there was a summer we had very intense summer basketball camps where Mr. Jarvie, which was he would just grind us. We would be sprinting up sand dunes was part of our training, and it was just very intense. But I was like, you know what? One thing that I can do is I can fucking take this. Yeah. I can take
overcome this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can fucking overcome this, and I can work the hardest out of anyone. And I did. And that summer, my basketball skills improved like tenfold. I became a great shooter, and I became a great defender, which, I was able to carry over a little bit from soccer, And
amazing. So you were like Dikembe Mutombo out there, just getting blocks, shaking the finger.
Shaking the finger. And at the end of the, an intense summer, at camp, Mr. Jarvie, we were all sitting around, and he just looked at me and was like, Maggie, you have shown what hard work looks like.
Wow.
And what it means. And he was like, I hope you take this in every aspect of your life. And he was telling everyone, this type of work, this type of dedication is such a core part of anything that you do. And he had this way of just taking things about sports and just making it mean so much more.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
That's what a great coach is
supposed to do. And
right.
When at this age, Mr. Jarvie knew that I wanted to be an actor, and but he always supported that. And
that's so good.
And when he would tell me things like this, he was telling it specifically for the arts and for me, and just saying that like never, like this type of hard work, it's not something to take for granted, and you're absolutely capable of this, and like look at you now, you know.
That's an amazing story, and it fits perfectly as a great contrast to this movie. No, it really does.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Coach P actually, when at the end of the year football awards, we had, I don't know, remember what we called them.
The banquet.
I'll never forget what he said, which is very similar to what you said. He did. He had a whole speech. He read my name. He teared up a little bit. And he said, "This player will always have a special place in my heart. You watch people, and sometimes with kids, you're not sure if they're going to get it." And then one day, this guy turned a corner, and he became one of the most important teammates we had because he came out here and worked hard every day and made everybody better.
Oh,
you know, I know, isn't it beautiful? That's all. Coach P, never forget it. Like, I didn't spend a lot of time with him, but that was like verbatim what he said.
Yes.
And that's been 20 years now.
Yes.
It's been even longer.
And like things like that change our lives.
Yeah. Can't
Just,
underestimate it.
You can't underestimate it. And
truth.
You know, yeah.
Now, my argument is Fletcher is not trying to do that.
I think I don't think,
Fletcher is trying to do something different, and he says what it is. He says what it is. Fletcher is trying to make a Charlie Parker.
Yes, his speech about that at the end is very...
But it tells you a lot. He by the way, this movie changed a little bit from the script because I read the script as part of what I teach. I teach this movie every month.
Interesting.
I do.
This is a great movie.
Of course. I teach it in a class that's on how to build a production. It's production management is what it's called. And I teach this class, and the first class we do every month is what was the movie about? What was it about? And, you know, I get answers that are very like, you know, a teacher who's abusive and a student who wants to be a great musician, that's true, right? Yeah. But they never get to the core of it. Now, the core of it is why I picked it. And this is how I always teach it. I think you're going to like this. I asked them the question. I'm going to ask you the same question. Did you ever watch Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech?
Quite possibly.
It's very memorable. Have you ever seen it?
I probably haven't in a long time.
So he gets inducted at the same time as David Robinson. Now, David Robinson, famous basketball player, he was a Hall of Famer, obviously. Played for the Spurs. Great guy, right? Just a moral, upstanding person. Gives a beautiful speech about the people who supported him, right? And gives this whole long thing, right? And this is relevant now, especially because of the Jordan rules and everything, and the Last Dance just came out a couple months ago. Jordan gets up and he does like a 35-minute speech or something like that, and every single minute of it is listing grievances. Person after person after person who slighted him, and just in an ugly way, he's just like, I showed you. So and so said I couldn't play. I showed them. So and so said I couldn't do this. I showed them. And it's like, I remember watching it, thinking to myself, like, you're Michael Jordan. Do you not understand that you're Michael Jordan? Like, Michael Jordan means you're the best there ever was. Nobody now thinks you weren't the best.
Right.
You're the best. Not one of the best. The best. So what are you doing? You crazy maniac, right? But again, at this point, most of us had been shielded from who he really was.
Michael Jordan was my very first ever crush ever.
Oh, sure. Who didn't have a crush on him?
I was
He's
like
beautiful.
3 to 4 years old. And so I've spent my...
Sticking that tongue out all the time, Maggie?
Oh, just gorgeous.
He is a handsome man.
Handsome man. And so I've spent my entire life blocking out anything any of his real personality because it was so formative to my early years.
Well,
your point.
His personality, it's the same as Kobe, right?
Yeah.
And Kobe, you know, of course, passed this year, and somehow that's not the biggest event of the year because it's an incredible, it's one of the most amazing tragedies in sports history.
Yeah.
And it's like a footnote to this year.
It's almost like we couldn't give it the time to more.
It's so crazy. It happened in January, but it was just like, you know, it's been 4 years of challenging times. Anyway, so Kobe was the same way, but Kobe lived in a time where it was harder to hide it. But essentially, at the core of it is a person who they are so pained by needing to be the best.
Yeah.
They're so pained by that.
Yeah.
And like ache for it.
Yeah.
And can't feel happy with anything other than beating other people. It's not a good quality, but it does produce excellence. It produces true excellence. And it's one of those things like you don't want to know how the sausage is made. The sausage of a genius, you don't want to really know how it's made.
Right.
But Fletcher does know how it's made. That's the theory of the movie. And how do I know? You should read the last page. You actually have to read it. I mean, it's clear from the movie, but when you read the last page of the script, it says during the drum solo that Andrew Naiman has become the next Charlie Parker.
Yeah.
Like literally meaning this man is one of the greatest artists we've ever seen, and this is the birth of that.
Yeah.
And the reason I love it as an underdog story, right, is that some of this is going to be ugly, but that's okay. So I'm a person who's been able to get by on talent almost my entire life. I've always been better than most people at school, better than most people at everything I decided to care about. Football is one of the only things that I ever chose to do that I was horrible at.
Wow.
And the reason it was because I woke up one day and I was doing PE in high school because we had to do 2 years of PE. You know, and I was a fat kid and fat kid. And I was wearing these shorts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Wearing that stupid outfit.
Yeah.
And I remember watching some people walk by the field that we were on in PE, and these people were like varsity athletes and stuff. And I remember them laughing at us. Like, you know, just like we were losers.
Yeah.
Because in high school, if you're not doing sports, and that's not part of your identity, like you're looked down on, right? Like that's the classic jock, nerd, bully thing.
Right.
Well, that happened to me. And I got my first taste of, my first taste of rejection. I've had many, many tastes of that. But my first taste of like other people like wanting to beat somebody like that, like want to be like, I don't have to accept that. And so I joined football, and it took me about 1.5 years, but I made the team and I did all the things, and I was horrible at it. But I think that, and it was actually like painful. A lot of ways it was very painful. Like I would wake up bruised, like, and I mean covered in bruises, all kinds of injuries. I wasn't really very good at it, you know, like just the whole thing. And at the end of the day, it was probably the most important thing I did in high school because it was the first time that I ever had to work hard for something. You know, that I ever really had to work hard for something. I think Fletcher is an abject maniac. I mean, he's a complete nightmare monster.
Yeah.
But I can tell you that I do know why Andrew Naiman needs him. I do know why he needs him because Andrew Naiman can't really access his talent, like his real talent, until he's put into a frying pan that he can't get out of, and the heat gets turned way up. He needs that. He needs that.
The film says he needs
that. Yes, the film says he needs that.
Yes.
I think that I do need that as a person.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do. I do. I am the kind of person who gets very comfortable at being very good in a very small sample size and then stays in this like comfortable place. Yeah.
This is so...
Like, this is going to sound very arrogant, and I don't mean to. I don't mean to sound arrogant.
No.
But like, I think Cracked is actually a good illustration to this. So like, Cracked did not challenge me as a filmmaker for most of my time there. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I miss it. Of course, yes. You know, I love the people.
Yes.
And there was a lot of talent there that I don't have, like a lot of writing talent I don't have, and some other things. But like, it was easy.
I mean,
and it was easy to be, and it was easy to be good at it.
Yes. Yeah.
And like, it was also easy to get applause for it. You know, because because it was like, you know, nobody has that job. That's a really hard job to get, and it's easy to take the feeling of being like, I'm fucking doing it. Because the truth is I was fucking doing it and like just getting complacent. Even though I was unhappy. I was unhappy there because I wasn't challenged. And I was
so
resentful of people
interesting.
because I wasn't challenged.
Weird.
You know why? I needed the fire.
This is
I
so
needed this fire.
interesting.
I understand why Andrew Naaman needs that fire. I know why he needs it. Now, there's a converse side to it. There's a converse side to it. And that is, in these last 3 years, I've learned some things about what matters and what doesn't. Andrew Naaman's problem is that even though he becomes Charlie Parker, when he's 50, he'll be dead of alcoholism. You know what I mean? That's the truth.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Charlie Parker, like he died of a drug overdose pretty young. Don't know why, but I think the parallels are somewhat clear. So Andrew Naaman's sickness is going to also destroy him. The thing that makes him great is also going to destroy him. And I don't pretend to be Charlie Parker at all, but like the underlying like need to beat people, like that like ferocious competitive thing, I squash that way down. I have a lot of that in me. I have a lot of that in me. I squash it way down.
Interesting.
Way down. Yeah, because I'm not allowed to be that way. You understand? Like the ceiling tells me I'm not allowed to be that way. Do you understand? Like, so I have to fight it. And so I've had to, in the last 3 years, figure out what it means to make your life not about becoming Charlie Parker. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it's a little bit, you may not understand that, and that's okay. Like,
Well, no,
or you may not relate to that.
Yeah.
I've had to find a way, like, I think everyone has to find some way, if they're in an entertainment business in particular, but like they have to decide, like, what's an amount of this thing that I'm working for that if I get it, I'm going to be happy. And then, because once they get it, they're going to discover they're not happy. That's
tales all the time.
It's tales all the time,
Yeah.
and yet we don't learn it.
No.
None of us learn it. So, like, that's a thing I've had to really contemplate in the time since Cracked, when it's been very hard to get work. Because when happiness was defined by having a directing job, it wasn't enough.
Right.
It wasn't enough.
Right.
When happiness was defined by getting a directing job back, there was no happiness anywhere. And so therefore, my happiness can't be contingent on that. And I've been trying to figure out what that means. And that's why I like Andrew Naaman. Because Andrew Naaman, first of all, have you ever seen anybody rise to a challenge in a movie more than him? Like, it's...
I mean, the way that they capture the blood, sweat, and tears is harrowing.
It's harrowing.
Yeah.
He is killing himself.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Like that's the substance of movies. You know what I mean? Like the pain of growth.
Yeah.
Like if movies are about growth, which they are, this movie has that more than anything. It's like so much of it. And yet the movie also asks us to look at it and say, is this worth it? Is it worth it to be like this?
Yeah.
I know those questions. I think those questions are really interesting, and I think they're really valuable. And I've been spending the last 3 years of my life thinking about those questions. They haven't made me stop wanting to drum at all.
Yeah.
But they have made it so that I'm not as, it's not going to be as easy for me I won't be as dependent on a Fletcher.
Right.
You see, like that's the tricky part of managing that kind of personality.
Right.
Now, I don't think you're like this.
Yeah,
so I don't know if
this
you really
is
understand it. I know.
No, I love listening to it because that's very that's so interesting. But like, I see that.
I hope it doesn't sound arrogant to say this. I'm a dramatic underachiever. Like I know it's like that sounds very arrogant. It's not though.
I don't think that sounds
I'm
arrogant.
definitely an
That sounds
underachiever. Because I don't work that hard for stuff. I don't work that hard for stuff. Like, and some of that's privilege, and there's a bunch of reasons for it, but also some of it is because things come easier to me than they come to some other people in the realms that I've chosen to exist in. Now, there's some others that I don't. For example, I don't engage in the ones that are hard.
Right.
See, that's part of being an underachiever. Is like,
wow,
that
this
you
is
don't,
all just like, this is why I love this podcast, because our brains work in such different ways.
Yeah.
But it makes so much sense when you're the way you describe it.
Yeah. Andrew Neiman is driven because he has no meaning in his life.
Yeah.
And that's
actively has no meaning when he breaks up with
he rejects meaning.
Rejects
that's
meaning.
the problem with him. But also that makes me pity him. That's part of why I love him so much, is because it's like, Andrew, why? You know what I mean? Like, even if you become the thing you want, you're not going to be happy, man.
Yeah.
You're going to, what are you doing? But I know why he's doing it. Like, I understand why he's doing it. And I think that's a really remarkable character. That's why Miles Teller was perfectly cast for it. Because I think Miles Teller is a little bit of a prickly, sensitive person hiding it under a cool guy. You know? And which is exactly what Andrew Neiman is. You know, like it's perfect. And I know that person. You know, I know that person. So that's why I picked the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Hope it wasn't too much. I don't know.
No. Yeah.
The 14 get the good shit, you know? The 14 get the good shit,
The 14, you guys really get the unfiltered.
The unfiltered.
The unfiltered.
Do you mind if I get a water?
Oh, yeah.
Really
Go
quick?
for it.
Okay. I'm going to leave this recording. I'm not even sure I'm going to cut it.
Don't cut it. I'll entertain the folks. Grab your snacks at the snack counter. Make sure you get back to your car before the second feature begins. Bloop, 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 bloop. Coca-Cola, only $3.99.
I spilled the water because you've been such a maniac.
Oh, man. The other thing I think about that movie is like, I feel like that girl should turn him down at the end. I feel like she should have just been like, no.
That's what she would have done, I think.
Yeah.
I honestly think she would have. I don't think unless she has problems. But if she has problems, then like relationship's doomed for other reasons.
Yeah.
Like that, there's no good answer to that. That relationship shouldn't exist.
Right.
So we'll see if we edit it out.
We'll see.
So Maggie, it's we're almost at the hour mark already. The way we do this.
Whatever. Blow past.
Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. I think it's also like we go to all the trouble to get here and do all this recording. It's got to go long.
And we're friends, so it's like
Exactly.
we want to talk and it will accidentally spend almost 20 minutes talking about animals.
That's true.
Yeah.
Maggie, tell me a little bit about the movie you picked.
I picked Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I love this.
This is my favorite Wes Anderson movie. I think.
Understand that. I understand.
Yeah. And, like people have a lot of critiques of his style and his thing. And I feel like this film almost kind of mitigates a lot of the like common Wes Anderson critiques.
His thing makes this whole genre of film way better.
Yes.
Way better.
Way better.
Yeah. It's such a good outing for him in terms of style.
Good. Just like, because his like still frames or whatever, when you're doing stop motion, it's beautiful.
Right.
And you see all the detail and just like, it is a feast for the eyes first and foremost.
All of his films are.
All his films are.
I would argue he's almost always doing the equivalent of stop motion, really.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
His movies are slowly morphing into a mixture of live action and this, and they have been since the very beginning.
Right.
I have never seen this before. This is the first time I ever watched this.
That's right.
Just because I missed it, and then
it is more. I mean, it's a story for a kid. I don't
think it is. I think it's for adults.
I think it's for both. That's why I also love it, because I think it's anyone can watch it and get something.
I laughed my cuss off, by the way, at the cuss thing. I laughed so hard at that.
You cussing at me?
Yeah.
Are you pointing a cuss at me? Don't you point a cuss at me?
Yeah.
I know this front to back. I told Adam I used to be able to quote this.
Yeah, I started texting you quotes when I was watching it, and I knew it, like she was like spinning around in her chair, excited about it. Yeah.
Trespassing.
So
illegally.
You're trespassing.
Oh, can you believe that's William Dafoe?
I did not know that until I looked it up.
One of the most Will's jaw was on the floor when that was William Dafoe. And
yeah.
I was like, Yeah.
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 Yeah. He's Willem
Everyone's
Dafoe.
doing their hearts
Bro,
out for this.
Have you even Lighthoused?
Have you been Lighthouse? Will's a great Willem Dafoe.
Oh,
Lighthouse
the Lighthouse
impression.
is the best.
The best.
Lighthouse is the greatest moment of the year for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Can you give us a summary of the Fantastic Mr. Fox?
So, the Fantastic Mr. Fox follows Mr. Fox and his quest to crawl his way out of the ground into a better lifestyle. He thinks
That's accurate. Yeah.
So he's a columnist. No one reads his column in the town. He's very like.
He agrees. His wife pressures him not to take risks.
Yes.
By like stealing food from farmers anymore.
He was a thief for a very long
was a
time.
fox.
He was a fox.
He was a professional fox.
With Mrs. Fox, they would steal
Right.
together. But when she gets pregnant, they agree that he was going to give up his squab stealing life. And trade it in, for just being a newspaper man. There's
A columnist.
a columnist.
Yeah.
Elements of kind of like a midlife crisis in a
Oh, yeah.
way. Absolutely.
absolutely.
So he breaks out and decides that he's going to not only move into a tree, but he's going to take down the Bogus Buns and Beans, when fat, when short, when lean. The three terrible crooks in the town who, run the food business.
That's interesting. So your description of what the movie's about is interesting.
Well, I'm a little bit fumbling, but
No, it's not that. It's no, it's not. It's not that you're not doing a good job of it.
Well, thank you.
Because because he starts a war with the farmers,
Yeah,
right?
he starts a fucking war with the farmers.
And one of the farmers is a full-fledged maniac, and so
maniac.
so like it becomes like they're in way over their head, way over their head.
Yes.
So they get into basically they're living in a bunker.
They're living in a bunker,
and they've displaced everyone else.
Everyone else.
Yeah.
It is Mr. Fox's fault that the entire town of animals is displaced from their home and has to live in a bunker as refugees. While,
They do, yes.
And they decide that the only way out of this is to
Launch an assault. Launch a full-fledged assault.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good summary. And he overcomes.
He overcomes, rounded out by my favorite character, Ash, his son Ash.
Okay, is Ash the one that you think of when you think of the underdog? Or are you thinking of Mr. Fox himself?
I think there are layers to the underdogginess.
Okay.
I think
curious.
there's an economic underdog, which
I knew that was coming.
yeah,
I knew
which,
that was coming.
if you know me, just strikes a sweet chord
Right.
In my heart.
I do know you.
And that striving for coming out of where you were born. When he tells his wife, I feel poor living in a hole. Like when I first heard that line, it like did something to my heart because I was like, I understand that. That need to just not be in a hole, or like to not be defined, or to get away from like the economic status that you were born into. So in a way, like the economic underdog is a thing. The other thing of like animals,
I'd say it's a pretty big thing.
it's a pretty big thing.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big theme in it. The underdogginess of it being these little animals going up against the
Farmers.
the farmers,
Yeah.
the people who
Yeah,
have been taking this land,
Yeah.
and like they have these huge sprawls of land. And the reason that Mr. Fox moves into a precarious tree is because it's the only one left.
And that he can afford.
That he can
Right.
afford. And it's the only one standing, next to the huge farms of Bogus Buns and Beans. Which is, and just like living underground versus above ground.
Totally. Living in a hole sucks.
Living in a hole sucks.
Yeah, it's great.
And the
Although watching them dig was amazing.
Was
Every time they dig in this movie, it's very funny.
every time they dig and eat, it's like
Yeah. But
Brilliant.
the eating is also very funny.
brilliant. brilliant.
Because like they're kind of like even for for humanized animals, like anthropomorphized animals, they're very prim and proper. Like they're very Wes Anderson.
Right,
you know, they're
right.
stilted and although I will argue George Clooney really adds a lot of
The
flavor.
voice cast is phenomenal. And I felt like they got a lot of room to just
Every movie that Wes Anderson does, there's like one person in it that's allowed to kind of not be exactly in a Wes Anderson world.
Yeah.
In this one, it was George Clooney.
Absolutely.
Everyone else was in a Wes Anderson world.
Yeah.
But like, and if you doubt me, go back and watch them all. Like Royal Tenenbaum, Gene Hackman's not in a Wes Anderson movie.
Correct. They're always a character that gets to almost bring us into the Wes Anderson world.
And also
in a way.
gets to be sort of a person in it. You know what I mean? Like Gene Hackman rules in Royal Tenenbaum. He's so good. I will argue that Jason Schwartzman in is it Rushmore?
Yes, Rushmore.
Yes, Rushmore.
Yes.
He, you know, and Rafe Fiennes to a degree.
Yes.
In Grand Budapest Hotel, and on and on and on it goes. So that's the idea.
Yeah.
And in this movie, George Clooney isn't the same stilted thing that everybody else is.
Right.
And it makes it fun. Really fun.
So fun.
Yeah. He's really kind of George Clooney the Fox.
Which is great for the character because the character. There, I mean, he says later, the liner is like, I feel pressure to be this quote unquote fantastic Mr. Fox. Which is like very silly. But it's like, there's something to that. Like the pressure that he puts it on himself to live in a tree and to not live in a hole is one, kind of the downfall of like the entire village. And his arc going from being this feeling like he needs to prove himself to being like, oh, actually, I love my neighbors. And like, the thing that I should care about is actually this community that we have together. And him going from that fake speech right before the apple juice incident where he's like, oh, we're all aware of each other. He like kind of still hates everyone they lives with to the end when they break into the supermarket. He's like, and remember, Mr. Badger has allergies and we need to get, and the bunnies are vegetarians. And it's like, you learned the value of like community and working together.
Yes, that's accurate.
And wow.
But he also, so like, and this is why it's such an interesting, like maybe even you told on yourself a little bit.
I'm sure I did.
Pick, is like, he's also, he doesn't see other people but himself. That's his problem.
Yes.
And he's a little too clever for his own good. And of course, I mean, he's literally a fox, right? So like, he's very clever and wily and has like a charm to him. And he normally that stuff gets him what he wants. But the problem is that he's got a family and then he's got a neighborhood. Other people get damaged. Yeah. And even he finally gets damaged by it because he loses his tail.
What a great
it's very good.
symbol.
Yes.
It's almost like his manhood and it like
not almost.
It's like
clearly.
his manhood gets taken away from him and mocked.
What's funny about it is like you don't really think about them having tails when you're watching this movie until he loses it. Until it gets blown off and you're like, oh, he looks weird now.
He looks weird. And the tail later when he pins it on is disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's gross.
Super gross.
They keep it looking like a rat tail.
It looks like a fucking car antenna.
Right. But like how symbolic, like you're putting on yourself with a paperclip. He puts it on himself with a paperclip.
It's so gross, yeah.
It's so gross. And the reason that sweet Christopherson gets captured is because his son is trying to prove in a way the same manhood because he's trying to steal the tail back.
Yes. See, the problem is, and this is what's so interesting, and this is what I meant when I said you told on yourself.
Oh yeah.
See, the problem is, the fantastic Mr. Fox is really talented.
Yeah.
That's one of his. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem with him as an underdog is that he's really talented. His talents get him in trouble. His son is not talented.
That's
really the interesting thing
underdog.
about it. Yeah.
Especially when I first watched it, Ash was like, that's my character, and I identify. Oh my god.
You're a Mr. Fox, dude. You're a Mr. Fox. You're not an Ash. You're a Mr. Fox.
Oh, thank you.
No, that's why when I watched this, I was like, well, no, it's not even a compliment.
Well,
it's just a fact.
You're not
You're not an Ash. I'm sure in your heart you feel like it.
No, I think I used to be an Ash.
accept that.
Yes.
I accept that.
When I first fell in love with this movie, I saw Ash the way that his thing, was like, I'm an athlete. And
the way he performs lines is remarkable. Yeah.
Remarkable, but that thing of just like knowing something about yourself so deep, and like even
and he's wrong.
And
he's just fundamentally wrong. Yeah.
And he's wrong about it. But in the end he isn't like in his own way.
He did enough.
He did enough. And like that's and him being Ash when his mom gives him that beautiful speech of like, you're different. They have this, that hand motion.
She's so good.
Beautiful. And it's like, yeah, you're weird. And like, that's good. That's like, that's part of who you are.
It's funny that you say that. I agree. Like, of course, and it's very typical movie thing to celebrate. Like, you're weird and different.
Yeah.
And that's good. Because surprise, surprise, everyone weirds in Hollywood. Like, it's like,
right.
So no exceptions here. We're both weirdos, but like the movie doesn't actually make him do his own unique thing.
Yeah.
He just sort of like does good enough at his dad's thing. That was a weird thing about the movie. Yeah. I thought that was strange.
That was a strange. I kind of forgive it because it's like.
So, but it's a flaw. We both agree that it's flawed.
I agree it's a flaw, and it should have been written differently.
He should have had a thing.
He should have had a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else has a thing.
Yes, it should have been the comic book character that he loves. Like that should have been the thing that got them at, the
right. He should have gotten this nerd movie shit.
Yeah. Totally agree that that's a flaw. But overall, the character just like just what a beautiful little weird child. Everyone knows that weird kid that it was like, you don't need to be
he's so
anything.
grumbly and
he's
like
so grumbly
surly.
And, and like knowing that you're different, especially that at that age, it's just so hard and just having your Christopherson.
Who's just so good at
what
it. Right.
magic. Like what a magical. And the fact that Christopherson is actually nice and like actually sticks up for him.
Has a really painful living situation.
Yes,
and like
his dad's got 1 foot in the grave and 3 feet on a banana peel. I mean, how longer can he last? That line, fucking brilliant. But everyone just like the characters feel, like. Yeah,
they're much more real than you would think, given how twee this movie is. Because it is like a twee nuclear bomb. Made a whole landscape out of twee. It's so charming, though. It really is charming. If you still like Wes Anderson, if you're not bored of his thing, this is a lot of his thing, and it's very good. Okay, so have you adequately described why you picked it as an underdog? Would you say?
Yeah, I would say, I guess the reason I mostly picked it was because of the different layers of underdogginess, both the animal to human, Ash as just this wonderful underdog character. But yeah, also Mr. Fox, he is very good, but also so is the character all the characters we picked are somewhat very good at what they do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, now you're stumbling on my theory.
Yeah.
We don't like underdogs because of their journey. We like them because they represent our problems. That's what I think. At least you and I did that. Both of us did that. So like, I think so, dude. I think so.
Because my favorite character is not Mr. Fox, and
Are
I
you
don't
sure?
really identify. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Wait, but you said it was. It's okay. List me the reasons why this movie is an underdog movie to you again.
The
economic stuff. That's part of it. Keep going.
Yeah. The animal to human rising up against the humans who have taken their land.
Which again, you relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah. Ash being dismissed and disregarded by most people in his life.
And you said you felt like that at one point in your life, right?
Absolutely.
When did you feel like that?
Around the time this came out, high school.
Yeah, we both kind of defined this problem as a high school problem. That's another interesting thing.
Well, I think that's in your life. That's probably the time that you're dismissed and.
I don't know. It's not for everybody. Like,
Well, yeah, not saying for everybody,
but
yeah.
for both of us, we have that in common, right? That's what I'm getting at. Is like, you see what I'm getting at? Is like the thing that made us connect to this. It didn't even necessarily come out when, like, neither of these came out when we were in high school.
Did mine not?
I don't know, when did it come out?
I don't know.
2008, or like 9?
Yeah, that was right. I graduated in 2010.
Look it up. Let's look it up. We're gonna leave this in.
We're gonna leave. Okay.
We're leaving it all in. Every bit of this for the producers. We're leaving it in.
Find out what year.
She's Wikipediaing it. And the answer.
My phone is.
The audience is screaming at us because they're listening to this on a laptop where they have this information ready before they even listen.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, they're like, you idiots. Yeah, 2009. That was my...
So you're still in high school. Okay, that's interesting. Because Whiplash came out in 2014.
That's when I graduated college.
Yes, much more recently. Okay, well, the point is that both of us, when we identify with underdogs, we identified with underdogs that represent who we were in high school. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't hear me describe Andrew Naiman in terms of my adulthood. You heard me describe like the moments that I related to him in high school. You know what I mean? That's like kind of that's like a weird thing about it. Might be just an artist thing. I'm not sure, or it might be.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, high school is a place where, well, at least for me, like, being at all interested in the arts or even acting was like shameful. Like, I'm wasting my life. But yeah, like, I don't mean to be, but yeah, like, how dare I? Period.
That's fascinating.
How dare I? And
did anybody actually say that to you?
Not in so many words, but yeah.
Implied. It was implied.
Heavily through many people, which is why, going back to my band teacher, he's someone that you wouldn't be here without, because he was the only one that ever saw my passion for something like that and was like, yes, like, why wouldn't you? There was a time where I was the lead in the school play and on the basketball team, and they had to cut the gym in half, and I was practicing on the stage, and then I would change my clothes to practice with the basketball team in the same gym.
I was wearing Mercutio's robes, and I would just sink a 3 between lines. From downtown Mercutio, fuck you, Capulets.
Yes. But there was no other person who would have let me do that or would have understood the importance of me being in that play while being on the team.
So you ran into this person who sort of let you be who you were.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you can't ever discount how important that is, because I mean, I had that whole story with Anna Ruth, and also Mary Fish with a knife in her head, and who I need to check up and see what's up with her.
Yeah, sure.
Those people, they matter forever, obviously. Nobody ever shamed me in high school about. Well, I wasn't trying to be a filmmaker in high school, so I wasn't really trying to be anything in high school. But nobody shamed me about going into film, which is surprising because my family is very conservative, and like in my house, Hollywood was bad. Not movies. Not all movies were bad, but Hollywood was generally corrupt. Was the opinion,
right?
So wanting to go into Hollywood should have been a source of problems, and it never was. So I don't know. That's interesting too. I loved this movie. I thought it was really good. Fantastic, Mr. Fox.
It's fucking great.
Okay, so I guess my theory doesn't totally work on why we picked it, but like my instinct was, if she says that the underdog that she liked was Mr. Fox, was Fantastic Mr. Fox, I'm like, she picked herself, because like that's how I saw it.
I am very flattered that you think of me.
Yeah.
I think he is a great deconstruction of toxic masculinity, and
I don't think he's such a bad guy. I mean, he's got a problem. He is toxic. He is toxic masculinity.
Well, and I'm not saying he's a bad guy, but I love that his arc is going from being selfish, not thinking of others, choosing to risk the people around him for some sense of self, self-glory, like having that one last great thing. And it turns out that by him doing that puts everyone's life in danger. And his
Which is
art,
true. It's true. But see, the problem with it is that he is a fox. See, that's the thing about it, is like, he is a fox. He does have to steal and eat chickens.
right?
That's what foxes have to do, because that's who they are. They're animals. They're wild animals. So like, in some ways, it's that he tried to civilize himself and he can't. You know, like that's why the movie keeps having that speech about we're wild animals. It keeps having that speech.
Right.
Because like, what Meryl Streep's character, by the way, I was amazed it was Meryl Streep. Could not believe that.
Could you talk to me real quick over in this
and then she slaps him and it stays. He cuts him and it stays. And I couldn't believe that.
Yes.
Also, if what I think is happening, it better not be happening.
If what I think is happening, it better not be.
It better not be.
He's got the
It's such a good line.
What's that?
It's such a good line.
Nothing. He's not with us. Go back to bed. Oh, myself. I don't have a Bennett hat, but I modified this tube sock.
Yeah. Does he say it looks good? Is that the next line? Looks good.
Thanks.
There's so many good lines like that.
Dad's on the TV. He's wearing he's got a foxtail around his neck.
Wes Anderson's really good at a scene normally is over, and he ends up leaving one last line, and the last line is always something really uncomfortable.
Oh yeah,
it's very funny.
And it just hangs.
Yeah. He's really good at that. Anyway, so toxic masculinity, if we're going to spread that definition out a lot, which we could, can mean all kinds of bad qualities because,
Sure. I would say specifically putting your own ego and the feeding of your ego above your community and family.
Which is true. But the problem with the movie, see, I'm not.
I know.
The problem
I'm
is the
agreeing
movie's
with you.
Sort of saying, but he has to really,
in the way that it fumbles Ash's final moment.
Yes.
It fumbles the messaging of the wild and because
it's like
end,
he is a shitty dad. He does ignore his son.
Yes.
And he does ignore his family, but at the same time, his family, and putting this in quotes, is asking him not to be a fox. And he is a fox.
Yeah. Yes.
Fundamentally.
Right.
So I don't know. It's hard to know what to think about that.
If those are my two problems with the movie, they're
not big problems.
Not big problems. Yeah. And I'm sure Wes Anderson has I'm sure he
I think he just really needs to talk about his dad. It's just whatever. Whatever's going on. Whatever happened there. It's
But also, I do think that there are the details of the actual Mr. Fantastic book. The
Are they amazing?
Book
I didn't know there was a book.
Oh yes. So that's actually
even
in
better.
the book. The whole wild animal thing is in it. So it's that I kind of understand. But the book is also about going putting people in danger, going above your.
Yeah, that's those are such tough things to contrast.
Yeah.
I mean, they contrast well in the sense that being a wild animal means not caring about anybody but yourself in some ways.
Also, when he is going around being like, we're all wild animals. We have, fancy sounding Latin names. And he gets the badger and he's like, what's your skill? And he's like, demolitions expert. And he's
That's so good.
Okay.
Since when?
In a way, it's actually, sure, they're wild animals, but you kind of also get to define what you're good at. Mrs. Fox is an artist. She's not.
I mean, they're keeping it real simple here.
Yeah,
for
they're keeping
us.
it. The things that people are good at is also their professions, and you can kind of place. I'm a wild animal is also well, what's my, what's my thing, what's my passion?
Yeah.
So that parallel I see, but it does get, befuddled by those details.
I do still think the more I think about it, the more the economic disparity piece is the most profound part of it.
Yeah.
Because those farmers have jillions of dollars, it seems.
Jillions.
They have so much money.
They're allowed to be so weird. So they must have
real
millions.
Weird.
The 3 chickens a day for 3 days. For 4 square meals.
12 chickens a day?
12 chickens a day.
What?
Yeah.
Couldn't believe that.
Yeah. Invented their own apple and squab.
Also, what's going on with that guy's wife, bro?
Oh my God! But
What
what a
is the
great
deal
character.
there? Yeah, she's amazing.
She's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and
she seemed like the wife from American Beauty. Remember the Colonel's wife in American Beauty?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a sad story. What the deal there was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my God! When you find out that she wears glasses, and when Christopherson and Ash are just like,
Christopherson's such a Wes Anderson name. It's like dripping with Wes Anderson.
Dripping.
It's like there's like a montage in Royal Tenenbaums where we see the women that that Royal's wife, whose name just escaped me, dated, and they're all just absurd.
Yeah.
There's like a submarine captain and a guy with an eye patch and shit.
This is one of my favorite sequences because it's like can relate. My cast of characters is
How many of them had eye patches, Maggie? How many?
Could have been at least one. How many eye patches? I'm sure I've dated an equivalent of a pirate.
Have you ever dated somebody that now you look back and go, my God, they were so ugly. How did I do it?
No. Most of the people I dated have been,
Hotsies.
Little
hotsies for you.
Yeah. Although, every once in a while it's like, why?
And I say, forgive me, I know that sounds very harsh, but like, you know how sometimes attraction sort of puts like a whole different person in front of you?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Then you're like, and then when you're done, you're like, what?
Whoa.
Yeah, why didn't...
Well, I mean, the person I dated before Will, now that I look at him, it's like, ugh. Like,
yeah.
how? How? But for the most
He's
part.
like, let me explain.
Let me explain myself. Here's where he was, and
I have a condition.
I have a condition.
What percentage of the show is going to be about dating, you think?
Probably
40 to 70?
40 to 70. You and I, like people. We're interested in people. We're filmmakers. We're, like that's our life. And like a lot of the times I was dating, it really was just like I love people and I'm fascinated by people.
Gotta see their whole thing.
I gotta
see all what they're doing.
Gotta get in there. I gotta get in there. I gotta.
Like after getting kicked out of the church, I started to be that way. I wasn't that way as much. I know. One day I'll get into that because I think it was like the first, like how when you're in pain, suddenly you just gotta know how other people feel about things.
Yes. Yes.
That started in like a life altering way then when I was about 22.
Yeah.
It's not like it didn't exist at all before then,
right?
But it really changed then.
Absolutely.
That's when the conversation. That's when I would start having hangouts that were like 4-hour conversations.
Yeah, because it's like the things
like,
that I thought about people. There's something. There's something just clicks in your brain that's like knowledge needs to fill or people and idea and how people think and how they work, and I need to.
It's more that, right? It's like how do people work and think, not. See, but before when I was younger, like in my early 20s, I was more interested in like philosophy and stuff, and like it would be easy for me to have like an hour and a half like debate about this or that, right? And like books and being important and all that stuff. And then like once I left the church, I just never got interested in that stuff again. Like it just really evaporated, and not because I don't think it's important,
right? I think that's a very normal, and I
maybe
have
just
also
an age
felt
thing
that
too.
in my life.
Yeah.
It could be an age thing, but it's also kind of like almost like, I don't want to say like a trauma response, but kind of it's like like you go through a thing that it's like I just need to know.
See, looking back, I actually think the philosophy might be the real trauma response.
Interesting.
Like because I find I find that not for everybody, but for a lot of people who want to get real smart and have conversations about being smart, that what they're doing is proving something. They're proving something to you and to themselves, more importantly, and that's a trauma response to me.
Yes.
Not even necessarily an event, but like there's a hole they're filling. And I was fortunate enough to not have to fill that hole that way anymore after that.
Yeah.
Instead I filled it by trying to save broken women, I guess.
Broken men. Oh my God. You and I need to collab.
There's going to be a whole other playlist on this.
Need to really. Yeah.
Yeah, because we alluded to it with the Crush playlist, but there's a lot more.
Yeah.
There's a lot more. Okay, well, we've done about, I don't know, an hour and 30 something,
how'd
maybe.
You like that, producers?
How do you like that, producers? Yeah, you better like it. This is for you. I'll tell you, so the way that Maggie and I pick these episodes is basically we do a little text thread and just here's some that I like, and then she says here's some that I like, or I like those, or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think what we might do going forward, once we know all your names, is we might try to incorporate either episodes that performed well that were voted on, or ones that we just liked. That we don't presume to like the same thing you guys like.
Right.
I mean, certainly we're going to curate these lists so that we know you'll get good content.
Of course.
Right? Because if somebody's asks for a thing that there's no story, it's like, well, I don't want to. I can't do that episode. I'm sorry.
My favorite eyelashes. I don't know.
I don't know.
There's so
the
many.
Right ones.
The right ones.
No, but you can imagine, right? Like I don't know. Favorite movie about tigers? It's like I don't know. Life of Pi. Fine.
Yeah.
Life of Pi. Jungle Book.
Jungle Book.
I like Shere Khan. I like his weird English accent. I like how proper he is.
English accent, doesn't he?
He's very distinguished.
Yeah.
Mowgli. You don't care.
No, I don't remember that Jungle Book very well.
Before we go, can you tell the audience all the different accents that you can do on command?
On command?
Like if you had to do one. Don't do them. If you just had to do them. If you just had to list them.
British, Southern, Cockney, which I put different than British. Those are the ones I could confidently off the bat do.
Okay, pretty good.
So
pretty good. I only butcher accents now.
Really?
I try to butcher the Boston one as often as I can. Whenever I have a friend from Boston, I screw up their accent so bad.
Just real fucking bad.
Yeah, just real fucking bad.
Whoa, that is bad. That's pretty bad.
But I do it wrong enough that it seems like, is he doing that on purpose or not? Just be like, fuck Boston. Take that.
Fuck Boston.
Yeah. Because I grew up in the Laker era. Lakers versus Celtics.
What era did you grow up in? I always forget.
The 80s. The Showtime 80s, baby.
Wait, what area? What area?
I grew up here.
That's right.
I'm a local boy.
That's right. Yeah.
One of the only ones.
Damn.
I don't know why.
That's right. You are local. I always forget that. I wondered if that factored into... Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. That's interesting. Well, it's like your family being kind, at least not totally against, even though Hollywood was off limits, but it's
we're not like Southern Baptist.
Right. And being physically close to it is also something. Because growing up in Michigan, talking about things that were happening in California that I liked.
Right,
was
we were hippies and shit.
Yeah, exactly. And also, get the stick out of your ass, kind of.
I always forget this, but Friday in my apartment complex, a man is employed to use a leaf blower.
Oh, is that?
And just blow leaves in a way that's we don't even have plants growing here.
I was going to ask, you guys don't really have any leaves
I love the man.
around.
Good for him for having a job.
Yeah.
And yet, at the same time, I can't tell you how many times I've tried to record, say, an episode of Guy Light or whatever, and this man came blowing leaves into my life.
Well, yeah.
Normally, by the way, we would kill the podcast, but this is a bonus episode, so you get the extra shit.
You get the. This is if they're asking us to leave the theater, and the guy starts coming in and sweeping up the popcorn, and they're flickering the lights.
Yeah.
With the leaf blower.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That is what it's like.
Yeah.
What happens if the audience decides they only want to nominate sexual podcasts? Or you're not gonna step in?
I don't think that they would.
Believe me, I think once you do,
they will.
See, I'm afraid, Maggie, that one day we're gonna do that one podcast.
There's one.
I know. We're gonna do the one.
It's a really special
and then
one.
everyone's gonna be like, "I'm sorry, we're gonna have to be requesting follow-ups."
Follow-ups.
And then there's then it's then we're gonna basically turn into, I don't know, Love Line or something.
We're multifaceted people and artists, so that there's many weird avenues that we will explore.
Oh, yeah.
And that will definitely be one of them, but it'll be one of many.
Yeah, because at some point I want to have a conversation about what the rules are for sexy talk. I want to have a conversation about the rules for that.
Rules, all right.
I need to know how you think it works and what is fits and what doesn't, because all of us are lost at sea in this subject. Just we're hopping into a boat. Who the fuck knows if we're ever going to see land again? It's like the end of the Truman Show. Every time you try sexy talk out,
just goes up to the door.
In case I don't see you.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night.
What a great ending, by the way.
Beautiful.
This, by the way, is the leaf blower that I talked about.
Yeah.
Why would this be happening?
There are no leaves up here.
Why would this be happening?
I don't know.
It's like a prank being pulled on me.
I could look over and stare at him right in the eyes, and I haven't, but I could. Oh, there he, and he's going down. But
it's impossible.
No leaves also.
No, I'm on the second floor of my complex, and it's a treeless floor.
Yeah,
it's totally impossible.
Yeah,
completely impossible. Okay, well. I feel we're leaving this in, by the way. Let's get left
gold.
in. Because what is that?
Wonderful.
No idea. Well, Mags, I don't know. I mean, we could do podcasts forever.
We could do podcasts.
What if we? Do you think we could ever do 2 at a time?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
You and I have the gift of gab.
Well, we both do. Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like if we knew we were gonna record 2,
we might save some stuff.
Yeah, I might say some stuff, and we'd be like, okay, let's move on to the next topic.
See, here's what I'm worried. Well, see, we're gonna manage time better. That's part of what's gonna happen. So the other thing that's gonna happen is I'm worried we're gonna just do full blast, full of puppy news, and then episode 2 is gonna be like professional greetings to you.
Professional greetings to you.
Let's get into the topic at hand.
Yeah. Or we just get deeper until.
Oh yeah.
Until.
Who even knows?
Until
we're in a dark room, blindfolded, naked. It's just this fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you and I both have very deep relationships in our life, and we're both young. We have the rest of our life to just peel away the.
She's making eye contact and doing the craziest gesture you've ever seen in your life. She's turning into that snake that she called it today that she refuses to acknowledge as a person anymore. You did that.
On a blast. Thank God my snake cannot hear and has no ears, because he'll never.
Oh my God, I hope that you play that for him. It's like, you can't hear what I'm saying about you, stupid snake.
Look at me in the face, you little bitch, and listen to this.
Okay, so you just did. That's the kind of talk I'm curious about talking about, in a sexual context.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have no filter, so that's what I'm coming in with.
Do you do? Oh, so you do that?
Yeah.
So are we gonna do this now? I guess we are.
I have a lot of girlfriends, and our standing thing, and my guy friends, we talk about sex.
Yeah, of course. I assumed that it was comfortable.
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking of
and
one
Will
episode.
does not listen to this podcast, and
he doesn't listen.
No, because also we know each other, so not really anything to get out of.
No, that's fine. That does surprise me though, because I've been hoping he was listening, because I was like, I'm gonna get them on this podcast. I'm getting them on this podcast.
They will come on. For sure they'll come on. But yeah, just because we spend so much time together, it's not like we need to listen to.
No, I understand. That totally makes sense to me.
But all to say, it's I.
So you can share the goods. You got a free tongue here.
I'm a free agent.
So I'm thinking of one particular incident. So so the thing that I got a read on a lady once. And the read was this is one of those not clear situations, of which I have had many.
Yes.
And the read was we were back at her place, and it was not unclear what I wanted.
Okay.
And it was also
clear.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's me.
And it was not unclear to her what I expected.
Okay.
And she was kind of hemming and hawing a little bit, but not, but just sort of delaying it. She was delaying it, and so I did this thing that I was like, I don't know why it just sort of occurred to me. I'm like, I'm gonna do this like sexy aggressive thing and see, because like it kind of fits her.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if it worked or if she was like, or if it scared her. I don't know.
Interesting.
I know. So like what I did was I get in the fucking bedroom.
You what?
I told her, I said like sorry, the leaf blower is still happening. I said, get in the fucking bedroom, right? Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Like just that kind of thing, right?
Yes. I think that's great.
Right, but see, you're risking though.
You're risking.
Because you can't be like, I'm going to initiate this kind of conversation now, right?
Right.
Can't do that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying anything happened because actually it didn't.
Right.
But like, I still like, how do you do that kind of an exchange where like you take on that sort of vibe?
Yeah.
But don't hurt anybody if they're not into it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because you can't have a contract.
Yes. But also, like, it's such, like, personally, I like that move. And I have done moves like that to other people. And it has worked spectacularly.
So it's the gamble, right?
It's the gamble. And also, I think you and I have talked about this, is like, and, you know, everyone is complete individuals and different, but also the age bracket that we date, there is somewhat of different expectations of that. Whereas, like, and Will has brought this up before because Will and I have an age gap, and like that type of thing is like, at least in my age gap, is like, like, and for women to do men, because it's like, you like it. It's like,
you like the role playing of it.
Yeah, the role playing, and the transparency of it. Like, there's something.
Oh, because you're stating what you want.
Yes, which is very encouraged in my age bracket.
Yeah.
Whereas I have noticed with older women that was definitely not encouraged. So whether they respond to it or not is a lot.
And yet they
more...
also want it.
Yeah.
So like, not all of them, of course.
Right.
But there are many who. It's not like it was invented by millennials. Let's be honest here.
Right.
This person I'm thinking of falls between our ages.
Interesting.
So, so somewhere between 40 and 20.
Right. Yeah. But yeah. Yes.
So I guess we'll have a conversation about how one navigates that. This happened like maybe 10 years ago, but like it's one of it's not my way.
Right, but
I would not do
playing.
that.
Right.
But like it also seemed like, and I don't know why I concluded this. I mean, I know a little bit about her, and I think that's part of it. But like it just sort of came over to me. It came to me. It was like, you should do this. Mm-hmm. And I did it, and it worked. And I'm like, was it wrong? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, I live with 12-foot high ceilings, you know.
That's right.
Yes. Don't do that.
And my gut reaction is no, absolutely
well,
not.
Of course, but you don't care, bro. Right, I don't know why I'm asking you. You're a permission machine.
I know, but
yeah.
Can't wait to discuss
someday. Okay, well, we've gone about an hour 45 now. None of it's getting cut except for maybe that
except
one
for the
time.
break.
No, leave that on. Where you did the between features.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, when the thing fell off the table.
Oh yeah, I'll have to cut the thing that fell off the table. So if you never noticed the thing that fell off the table, we cut it.
We cut it.
Mags, where can people find you?
You lovely 14, you nameless, faceless patrons, producers of this wonderful podcast. You probably already follow me on Twitter, but you can find me there. Probably. With my name. Yeah. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Are you gramming much these days? Should they follow you on the gram?
Oh yeah. I always forget to say my Instagram because it's it's not the one I use the most, but I do use it. And I'm getting a kitty soon, so.
What are the names for the cat?
Okay, I kind of floated the idea of getting a bonded pair of kittens.
Okay, so big upgrade.
Big upgrade. Yeah. Which, if you know Will's a very cautious person, and when I said 2 kitties, the swivel chair swiveled, and beam lights shot from their eyes. But okay, would it not be the cutest to have two cats named
Nike and Reebok or something like that.
Nike Reebok? Well, I was thinking Murphy and Lewis from
That's cute.
Just
very cute.
One of our favorite movies.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
the partner, and they're having like the two,
That's so good.
And
Also,
they're
just
fucking-
formal names for cats.
just
is
formal
great.
names like Murphy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lewis.
Yeah. Also, old guy names are funny.
Old guy
yeah.
names
Humphrey,
for
get over here.
cats.
Yeah.
Just great. And I've also very embarrassingly have kicked around Ashton Christopherson.
Oh.
Which
That's pretty cute.
It's pretty. It has a lot to do with the personality.
Seems a little cutesy even for you though.
It's a little cutesy, and it's like there was a time where that was my favorite movie, and it's not. I'm not in that time anymore.
I kind of hope one day you get to be in a Wes Anderson movie. I really feel like that would be good for you.
It's my dream, and a place that I feel like that's the type of thing that I.
If it's your aesthetic, but the problem is, and this is what I think would be amazing about it, is like you'd get totally shackled down in that movie because that's what he does.
Yeah,
He shackles them down, and so you'd just be brimming with unused Maggie talents.
right.
Like,
Unless I was the one character that
unless you're
got
the
to
lead, right? You have to be the lead. Which, hey, that'd be amazing.
Which would be amazing. He's never had a woman in that position, I don't think, though.
It's because he doesn't know how to tell anything but dad stories.
I know.
It's like his only thing.
Wes Anderson.
I know.
Which is okay. Everyone's got their things.
Sure. Woody Allen has a thing about writing himself as every movie. So.
Yeah. Have you watched Hamilton yet? We haven't even talked about Hamilton. This is controversial. I'm only telling 14 people. He's by far the worst. Lin-Manuel, every time he's on screen in Hamilton, is like, get off screen, please.
That's kind of everybody's opinion, isn't it? That's kind of what I've been hearing.
Yes. He's so bad. I saw it in Chicago.
Hamilton. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was going to say, just the cast in Chicago, that made the show. Me watching Lin-Manuel Miranda play Hamilton was like, this is a joke.
Yeah.
It, like, truly, I think he's that bad.
Oh, he plays Hamilton in it?
Yeah, he's the lead, and it's like...
Oh.
And he's
that's
the
not
worst
great.
singer, and he plays it. He plays it pompously, and the version that I saw was a complete... Like, this actor played Hamilton in such more, like, an earnest, like, way that just made so much more sense, and, like, just... The play all came together when I saw it with a different cast.
See, Hamilton is a victim of so much hype.
Yeah.
So that I've just never seen it. It's I never saw it, and I haven't seen it, and I don't really want to. It's not because I think it's bad. It's just because like I don't even know how to have an honest reaction to it now. It's been I don't even know what happens other than I've read history, so I kind of know what happens. But like. It's just been so hyped, and so I just was like, I'm gonna catch this when I don't have an opinion about it, and like, and that time has never yet come.
Yeah, Will. I watched it with Will, and Will was just like, it's Hamilton. You know, Will was like, I mean, some of the songs are beautiful.
Of course they are,
and of course they are, and like the best song in my opinion is Aaron Burr's song. His Wait. Have you heard Wait for It?
I have not. No.
It's. That character's philosophy, us having these talks, is like it might really hit home. And Will almost cried listening to that song. And he's like the quote unquote villain, but he's a person. He's a person, but also like he's just the best actor, and Lin-Manuel Miranda can't do anything. It's like,
that
why
doesn't
are
help.
you even?
Well, sometimes the villain's the more interesting person. In a lot of movies, every time Joker is a villain, he's the most interesting person.
So true.
So no, I haven't seen Hamilton. I don't know when I'm going to watch it. I know I'm not going to watch it now because I want to have an opinion about it that's not based on what other people think, and there was no space to have that. In part because when it came out, I was working at Cracked, so it was just like we had to all have opinions on it.
Right, and it was playing in New York, so it was like who can see it?
And I'm not paying a fortune to see this, no matter how important it is. I'm not doing that. There have only been a couple of things that lived up to the billing when it comes to stuff like that. The one that strikes me the most that really lived up to it, Book of Mormon.
I was disappointed by Book of Mormon.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I was sitting in the theater And I was so excited. For my birthday, I got a single ticket to go see it in Chicago.
By yourself?
By myself. And that's how much I wanted to see it. I saw it alone.
Whoa.
For Christmas, my parents got me a ticket. And yeah, I mean, a lot of it made me laugh, but a lot of it, didn't
care.
Not. Well, not that I didn't care. I was like, this isn't super funny to me. And like,
all right.
the
What can you do?
you know, like, it just like things that seemed off. All this stuff about Mormon really like hit for me, I think. And that was really funny. And like, and a lot of the songs are great. And I
loved it. Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't always like the South Park guys either, but at all. But that was great. Don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I also don't like musicals at all.
I don't really
I hate
either.
them.
Except I was laughing with Will because I was like, yeah, I hate musicals too, except for the ones that I love. And I was like, that's a lot of people. And that's like me. It's like I have a thing like I went to Northwestern, which has a huge musical theater program that I had no interest in being involved in, and
they were having singing orgies over there.
Oh, singing orgy! Like, and my best friend Ryan like is like the musical theater guy, and he's my best friend, but it's like
couldn't have less interest in that.
Couldn't have less interest. And
Couldn't even
especially
try.
at the time, I was like, I want to do film where the camera is like this close to my face. Like that was like what I wanted to do. So like musical theater was like, you know,
F this.
Except for the ones that I love.
I'm gonna name all the musicals I like because it's only a couple.
Great.
Chicago. I like Chicago.
Love Chicago.
Yeah.
Fucking love Chicago.
I kind of like Moulin Rouge.
I love Moulin Rouge.
I kind of like Moulin Rouge.
Love Moulin Rouge.
It's getting awkward because I don't know if I like any other ones. I don't think I do. I don't like Little Shop of Horrors.
I think it's okay.
It's
I like
fine.
the movies version of it, but I've never seen a
I don't
production
like either of them,
it.
really.
I like the performances. Like I love Steve Martin as the dentist.
Sure, but so?
I know.
Yeah.
So
what?
I don't like Sound of Music.
I like the Disney ones.
Oh,
so
love
like
Disney's. Lion King, Frozen. I like.
Frozen's okay.
Yeah.
Aladdin. I like.
Aladdin.
You know,
Yeah.
Little Mermaid has the very best songs.
Yeah, Little Mermaid's great.
Oh, the songs in Little Mermaid. That's I think 4 of my favorite songs in any movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Kiss the Girl, incredible. It tears me up every time.
Wow.
Tears me every time. Part of Your World.
That
just murders me. Under the Sea is one of the most fun songs ever written for a movie. Anyway, I could go on
Ursula's song.
Oh yeah, Poor Unfortunate Souls.
That is the fucking anthem.
Yeah.
And the that carrot. I love her. Like.
Oh yeah, she reminds me of my grandma.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's.
Also, last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on. One of the funniest things that ever happened, because this will bring it all the way back. One of the funniest things my grandma ever did, she took me when I was 13 to see Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which is when it was in the theater, because that movie was in the theater for like a year and a half.
Whoa.
Yeah. So my grandma kind of looks like Ursula. She kind of looked like Ursula. She died, but she kind of looked like Ursula. And she did this thing. And the reason it reminds me of the beginning is because I told you I did that whistling thing with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
My sister's next comment was, it made me think of grandma. Because in the theater to Jurassic Park, my grandma, we're watching the movie, right? And there's that scene where the goat gets disappeared.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so the T-Rex ate it, of course. So the goat's disappeared, and then the line says, "Where's the goat?" And then they cut to that ceiling shot where the leg chops out. The leg drops, and my grandma did the following sound. Da! In a dead silent theater. It was dead silent, and she did, da! Right?
Wow.
It's so funny. And to this day, it's like, it's family, so it's just funny because it's your family.
Right.
My siblings and I still, to this very day, laugh about that. It's like one of our favorite. Yeah. Because it's very old lady. It's so
yeah.
good.
Only an old lady could do that most justice.
That goat leg scared the hell out of her. It wasn't even the T-Rex. It was the goat leg. Where was that goat?
Where was it?
Well, we found out where you are.
Yeah,
where I am is on Twitter. I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, I'm there.
You're there.
You can see me.
Yeah.
Don't follow me on Instagram. It's a waste of your time. I post like one thing every couple years. It's usually when I vote. I voted. Here's a sticker.
Really
or here's a weird close up of my face now. Or like maybe I'll take some pictures of my plants.
Yeah, you can.
I could take some pictures of my plants. So sure, follow me on Instagram, I guess.
Do it.
Otherwise, my other podcasts also appear on this network, which you're welcome to check out. And Maggie, I think we did right by our precious 14.
I think this was. I think we gave them something really special.
I think we did.
Both of us really got into some stuff.
Yeah.
In a wonderful way.
Well, I think it's really important that we keep alluding to what else we're not talking about.
I know. I mean, people are oceans.
Yes.
Which is something I have always believed.
Yeah.
Even the ones that it's like you seem really shallow, they might be in certain ways, and in other ways they will just,
That's why I can't recommend enough that after you finish this podcast, everyone needs to turn the podcast off and immediately pop on the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Go watch that movie. Have you seen that movie? Go watch it.
Don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
You don't like that movie?
No.
Oh my God. What? I love that movie. All right, we're saving this for another time.
I knew
I fucking love that
you
movie.
would have that response.
I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. No?
No. But I also saw it like
When was the last time you watched it?
the first time I watched it was like 9 months ago. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
this will be
God.
we'll get, yeah.
I watched that
Yeah.
movie 3 times in the theater. That's how much I liked it. Yeah, I loved that movie.
Wow.
Okay, well, wow.
Wait, wow.
What a weird thing.
I know.
Okay, well,
I know.
anyway, what I was going to say until the boat was ruined by opinions was watch that movie and understand the depth of complexity that is human love and enjoy that because that movie gets into it.
One side of it, sure.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's fine. I can understand.
Yeah.
All right, that's enough.
Yeah.
This has been a Small Beans endeavor. We're a bunch of pals who make podcasts, sketches, music, web series, and movies. The beans always have new ideas percolating, so make sure to check us out at patreon.com/smallbeans. That's patreon.com/smallbeans, where you can browse all of our current and past content, see what we've got planned in the future, and learn how your support can help the small beans grow into huge, giant monster beans. If you enjoyed this content module, please like, rate, subscribe, or tell a friend about us. We love you!